right, so we are back with another one. Um, Today we got something interesting. Nolan Arbaugh. I don't Arbaugh. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I don't want to mess it up, but yeah. So he received the first Neuralink microchip implant after becoming paralyzed. I mean, you can read the title, but just want to see what he got to say, man. Uh, just see how this works and how he actually feels. So let's get right into it.
So, what this implant allows you to do is you can interface with a computer
Hmm.
and you can use keyboard, you can type in URLs, you can play video games.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah. So
He
basically,
get right into it.
excuse me,
Damn.
my implant has like a Bluetooth connection to the computer, and then through that, Neuralink has created an app that they have uploaded to the computer, and through that app, I can interface with the computer. What it does is all of the electrodes on the threads are sending neuron spikes, neuron signals, and through my so it's all implanted in my motor cortex through my intentions. So say if I want to try to move my hand left, right, up, down, I can't really move it. I have like a little bit of movement in my hand, but I can't really move it. But the neurons are still firing, that intention is still there. So like those signals are being sent. There's just a cutoff in my spinal cord, so obviously it's not getting down. But it's still going on in my brain, and those electrodes are picking up those signals, and there's an algorithm, like machine learning, going on in the background that is, taking those intentions, and over time, it is learning what I'm trying to do, and that translates to cursor control. So,
What
Shit.
the?
yeah. So if I want to,
Wait. Man, hold up. I'm not gonna stop like that, but that shit was a lot that he just said. So essentially, the computer is reading his intentions by the neurons firing and like essentially predicting what he's gonna do, or assuming, I should say. I wouldn't say predicting at this point. That's that's interesting, man. Let's get back to it. I ain't got nothing else to say. Let's get to it.
try to move the cursor to the left, I move my hand to the left. But that's not necessarily what I would need to do. If I wanted to move the cursor to the left, I could kick my foot, or I could do any sort of like motor action to train it to learn that's what I want it to do, to go left.
Oh.
So there.
He That's almost like for all y'all gamers and PC players, that's almost like hotkeys and mapping buttons. Like that's what he's talking about.
There will be like a visual on the screen that says like move your hand to the left, and then they will train that left movement to left on the cursor control. But that visual could be anything. It could be like do a little jig, and that'll move it to the left. Like anything that it can do, anything you can do. I mean, it can learn, and you can map that to anything
Yeah.
with the
So
cursor.
does this
That's
include
crazy.
facial movements? Does it?
Yeah, yeah.
So you could like move it with your nose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like we haven't tried anything like that. We haven't tried, a lot of stuff. This is very, very, like it's still very new. So there are
This is
things that
crazy.
we're working on what works well at this point. So like a lot of it is like my right hand stuff. We have mapped a lot of things to like individual fingers, hand movements in general. But we've done like left hand stuff. We've done like foot kick stuff, and it doesn't look like the signals are as good. But that also might be just due to the fact that some of the threads are pulled out. So when they fix that issue with the next people, then those things would be much, much better. And if that's the case, then you could theoretically do multiple things at once. It's
Wait.
not just, you map, say, my
What does he
right
mean,
hand
the
to the
next
cursor control,
people?
then you map my fingers in my other hand and my toes to like key control, so I could be moving the cursor and typing at the same time with my toes or something.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to explore with this.
All right, so I'm gonna stop right there real quick. All right, so what do you mean by y'all kind of got what he just explained, but what does he mean by next people? Like, I would want that to be no joking. I would want that shit to be upgradable. So I'm just wondering, like, is that it? Like one chip, one life? So I'm just curious. I'm just very curious about that one. So fuck it, let's get back to it.
That's so interesting that it's tied to your mind telling different parts of your
Mm.
body to move. I'm very obviously very ignorant to this stuff. I thought
Mm.
like you were just using your mind and telling the cursor to go around.
Yeah, so it's something that is true. So it's something that we differentiate. There are what are called attempted movements and imagined movements. So at the very beginning, I
Okay.
did a lot of attempted movement. Attempted movement is just what it sounds like. I attempt to move my hand in a certain direction. I attempt to move my fingers, like lift your finger up, down, left, right. I attempt to do something, and then the algorithm will take that and translate it to cursor control. But what I realized maybe a few weeks in was that I could just think cursor go here and it would move. That it blew my mind when that happened for the first time. Like I said, with everything going on in my brain, all of it still.
Just stop right there. He just said he could just think cursor go here and it just would move there. And no funny shit. He would be like the best fucking first person shooter player ever. If like they could get the timing down. I don't know how that works with games because he said he could game on it. So, but that's crazy to even just say, yeah, I can think, and then the camera would turn off, or I could think, and then the video would start playing. So let me start playing the video.
Still works. All the signals are still there. Like I think something to try to move, and the signal gets sent. So when I'm attempting to move my hand and the cursor's moving, and it's moving basically where I want it to, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It didn't really shock me that it worked. I
Shock
assumed
me.
that it would work because all the signals are still working. It's just my spinal cord that's jacked up.
Shock me.
Um, but when I moved it for the first time with my mind without attempting to move at all, it I was giddy the entire day. I could not believe what had just happened. And I think we're going to find that with a lot of things. Right now we are doing like I'm trying to map like sign language, like the sign language alphabet in order to text, like write words and stuff. And it's pretty promising. It worked. I'm sure there's a video out there of me somewhere that Neuralink has of me spelling a couple words with sign language.
Wow. So you're thinking in your
That's
mind
crazy.
or you're trying to get your hands to
Mhm.
make
That's crazy. Like he's doing sign language to text, and then a few days ago, or I believe a few days ago, I'm not sure when this came out, but this is when I just found out about it. Um, yeah, he another guy just came out with black guy just came out with sign language to sound, and so like I want to see how far those go because those will definitely help a lot in that community, especially with people who have trouble hearing or speaking. So yeah, this is that's definitely helpful. Let's get back to it.
the signs of
Yep.
sign language,
That's
and then the
crazy.
computer interprets that
Yep.
as the language and types it out.
Yep. And I think the same thing is going to happen where I went from attempting to move my hand to imagining just moving the cursor. I think it's going to be the same way with the texting. I haven't had this confirmed yet, but I don't see why not. I think at some point the computer's going to learn, like me trying to do certain letters, if like attempting it, at some point I'm just going to think that letter instead of actually trying to move, and it'll type it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I think it's both like me learning what
That's crazy
like
as
the
shit.
computer's trying to do, the algorithm, and the algorithm learning what I'm trying to do. And so over time, it's just going to be completely thought based. I don't see why it wouldn't get there.
It should
From
get
what I've
there,
seen
though.
just with the cursor control, it makes sense that, you know, as I'm attempting, it's learning, and then instead of even needing to attempt, it'll just understand what I want to do, and it'll do it.
So you were saying that you were one of the first people to do this, and there's going to be more people in the trial, and that maybe they'll learn like the things that are going wrong with yours. Can they do yours again? Can they redo it?
Yeah, they could. It was
Yeah,
something that, you know,
that's what
when
I
the
asked
thread
earlier.
retraction had happened, I was obviously pretty broken up about it. I thought that, so like when they told me, I didn't have very good control of the cursor anymore. It was really hard for me to get the cursor to go where I wanted it to go. I thought my time in the trial was coming to an end, and that's really hard. It's something hard to come to terms with, because they had just shown me this whole new world, like all these new capabilities that I had, and they had introduced so many things. Like before that point, I had played video games for 10 hours without needing any sort of help, and it was hard to internalize that it could all be coming to an end. I know that it will
Damn.
at some point, because I'll be out of the study and I won't be able to use it anymore. So my first thought
Damn,
was,
man.
can you guys go in and fix it? Like go in, take it out, put in a new one. And they basically said, we're not at that point yet. We're going to see if we can fix it. We're going to see if we can do things on the software side to fix it, which they ended up doing. It
Damn.
works better than it
Alright.
did before now, even with like fewer threads. So I'm glad we didn't, because they learned a lot. If we would have just gone in and taken it out and put in a new one, they wouldn't have learned anything that they
That's
learned
true.
over the last 3 months. They could go in and do it. They're not going to. I don't think that they need to. But at some point, I know that
Don't keep
the whole
risking
point
your
of
life.
Neuralink is to be upgradable. So at some
But-
point, they're going to go in, hopefully, and take it out and give me a better one.
Wow. Now,
Well, that answers my question about it being like updatable or upgradable. Like, shit, you can't beat that, especially if you paralyzed and you want to stay into the program. Like, if it's upgradable and it isn't really causing too much harm or pain, then shit, why not upgrade it, man? Like, that's crazy. I wonder what kind of chip they put in, like, who produced the chip. Like, that's the only thing I'm thinking about as far as like when they upgrade it. Like, who actually produced the chip? Was it Tesla? I mean, well, not Tesla, but Neuralink who produced it, or did they sub that out to somebody? But I don't know. Let's get back to it.
what is the extent of your injury?
Sorry.
Of course.
Okay.
I
what
dislocated
that
my
was.
C4, C5 in a. People keep calling it a diving accident. It wasn't really a diving accident. It was just sort of like a freak accident while I was swimming in the lake. So I dislocated my C4, C5, which they told me was good because I didn't sever my spinal cord. It was just kind of like my spinal cord, like bounced out of place for, a split second, then hopped right back where it was supposed to be. And so I cannot move anything. I have no control or sensation below my shoulders. I got a little bit back.
Damn,
Like I can
man.
move my hand a little bit, but not enough to do anything. Like I couldn't control the joystick or anything. So yeah, no movement or sensation below my shoulders.
Is there anything that, have you looked into what they do with stem cells? Or
Yeah. So I applied for studies before Neuralink, and I never got asked to be in any of them. I never even heard back from anyone, which is kind of what I assumed would happen with Neuralink, honestly. But I had applied for things because I obviously don't want to be paralyzed anymore. I don't want to be a quadriplegic. So It would be great if I could get into something and have them fix as much of me as possible. I mean, even if I had more control over my hands, the amount of things that I could do would like
Yeah.
skyrocket, like an order of magnitude better. And my life would be better. My independence would be better. Everything.
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt to try. And
Yeah.
you familiar with a lot of these clinics, like the Cellular Performance Institute in Mexico?
No.
They do a lot of UFC fighters. They do like you
That's
can do
tough.
things in other countries that you're not allowed to do in America
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
regulations.
That's tough only because you can, like, you just dibbling, dabbling at that point. And not to say that these aren't professionals, because we don't know, but they're still kind of experimenting with things that probably aren't regulated on the open market. And so, you being one of the people that tested, that's you risking your life, man, and you opening yourself up to a lot of things down the road. So that's kind of tough to weigh.
But what they're able to do down there is they're going right into discs, and they're alleviating people's disc problems, where they're actually making the discs grow larger
Oh, wow.
and heal people with back injuries.
Mm.
And I know I've read things
That's
about
crazy.
spinal cord injuries and improvements, but I would love to connect you with them. And they're the experts on this. They'd be able to tell you like what the state of the art in terms of like what the research shows that stem cells can and can't do.
Yeah.
I don't think it
That's
could hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a healing thing, right? If
Yeah.
you're getting some sensation, a little bit better movement, maybe they could accelerate that.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll connect you with them.
Cool. I don't know if I'm allowed
That's
to
dope.
at this point.
Oh, really?
Because I'm in the Neuralink study. I'm not sure that.
Maybe you should lie.
Yeah. I
Facts.
mean, it
No,
would
you
be.
said
It would,
Facts. That shit. Nah, they might definitely pull everything. I don't know how you can pull that's crazy, pulling a microchip. That's crazy. Taking your microchip back is crazy. Yeah, nah, Neuralink. Y'all can't do that, yo. Y'all cannot do that. So, yeah. But, shit, man. I don't know. Lie. Let's get back to it.
would be
Lie.
great.
You
It
should
would be
lie,
great.
but that would suck to get out of the study too. Both things would suck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Maybe they would allow it.
Yeah. I mean.
Hell
we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, it's only something that would help
Just
you heal.
gotta act.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I just know that.
It might
like, in
help
a lot
them.
Of studies.
You never know.
Something like that. Even,
Right.
They might not want to take on like the added risk.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
it would kind of mess up the control.
Exactly.
Like what happens? You juice somebody up with stem cells, and does the brain pulsate more? Does the
Yeah.
fibers come out more?
Yeah. How does it
That's
interplay
true.
with any sort of
Right.
device that someone has
Right.
implanted? Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
That's tough.
Is there a hope in the future of utilizing
Man, y'all
this
better start
technology
figuring
to
that
help
shit
people
out,
regain
though.
movement?
If
Yeah,
you say
yeah,
he's
that's one of
willing
the
to
plans.
try, y'all
I don't know if you've seen anything on it. Basically, they do something similar to what the stem
can't be
cell.
mad at it.
A lot of the stem cell research is. A lot of the stem cell stuff is, implant stem cells above and below the level of injury, and those stem cells will migrate basically and create a bridge. Some of them have even talked about injecting right into the level of injury. So with the Neuralink, the plan is to implant one in the brain and then implant one below the level of injury, and then the Neuralinks will just talk right to each other. All the brain signals that
Now
it's picking
that's
up in the brain, wherever
fire.
it's implanted, motor cortex in
That's
this point,
fire.
in this scenario, would go straight to the other one, and it would send it right through your body like it should.
And do they have a plan on when to try this?
They're already trying it in animals. They have one in a pig. You can watch the video of it, where basically they have an implant in the pig's brain and an implant in the pig's spinal cord, I think in the thoracic section of the spinal cord, and they have been moving the pig's legs on its own. The pig's not paralyzed or anything, but basically they tell the pig, come to this section of, they grid off the floor, and they put food in a section of the grid, and they're like, if you're okay with us testing on you, pig, come over here, basically. And the pig will go in there, and then they will take control of the pig's leg, and they will start playing around with it, making the pig, so this right here. So all those movements right there, the pig's leg are them. They're doing it. So And this is just the beginning, obviously.
So this is flexor movement. It's saying
Yo, that's fucking crazy. Man, I know y'all see that small on screen, but that paralyzed pig's legs is moving, man. And to be able to send the signal from one chip to the other, ah, man, that's a huge leap in the medical field. The pharmaceutical company's gonna kill somebody, man. Y'all can't play around like that. Y'all can't play around like that. Y'all can't play around like that. That's gonna help so many fucking people. Not to mention the niggas in the army, they gonna find some way to militarize this shit real quick. Y'all already know that, but that's a huge leap, man. That's just a huge fucking leap. So, yeah, let's get back to it.
and the pig is lifting its leg up unconsciously. It's not
That's
doing it
a
on its
huge
own.
fucking leap,
they're doing it
bro.
all.
Even if this
Dude,
is
how long
a
before they can hijack people?
5 years.
How long
That's
before the
the-
CIA can hack into you?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's like,
That's the only thing I'm thinking about. How long before they hijack people?
I mean, that is the ultimate fear of human beings becoming
Mm.
cyborgs, is that we're going to be subject to all the problems that our computers and our phones have with malware
Yeah.
and spyware and
Yeah. I mean,
hacking.
people
That's
people
a
ask me all the time. if
completely
this thing can be
different
hacked, and short answer is
health
yes.
problem.
But
now,
at this point,
you got to
at
worry
least,
about your wear.
hacking this wouldn't really do
software.
much. You might be able to see like some of the brain signals. You might be able to see some of the data that Neuralink's collecting, and then you might be able to control my cursor on my screen and make me look at weird stuff. But that's about it.
That is the ultimate fucking fear, is that we are going to be subject to everything. Imagine having another health problem. Imagine you go to the doctor and they say your software need an update. It seriously need an update. What? But I updated it last night. I know, but they got a new update. Like, imagine that, bro. Like, and that's a health problem. They could probably do more than that once they figure out more capabilities. A good thing you don't have other devices connected to you. But once you start connecting to other shit via Bluetooth and whatever extra capabilities they give you are the same exact ways you can get hacked. So, yeah, man, that's scary to think about. That's very scary to think about. But other than that, let me know what y'all think, man. It's been another one. I appreciate everybody checking out that Neil deGrasse Tyson versus Terrence Howard video. I appreciate everybody subscribing. Yeah, man, road to 500 subscribers. So if you can, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. And yeah, I'll get up with y'all in another one. I'm out. Peace.